The first LCD projector I've tested, with 2K resolution. Let's see how true that is. Intro, and we start. Digital greetings, for all. I'm your friend Javier Guerrero, and today I'm going to review a gigantic projector that has the highest resolution I've tried so far. It is not full HD, but 2K, it is the Everycom E700. 2K means an increase in resolution, that is, an increase in the number of pixels. Some pages define 2K as 2048 x 1080 pixels, that is, just a simple 2K, and that is only a little wider than full HD. Other pages define it as 2560 x 1440. That is, an expanded 2K, and that is higher and wider than full HD and therefore better. To clarify that issue, today I am going to check precisely if this E700 is really an expanded 2K, and with this method you will also be able to check the true resolution of your projector. So, without further ado, let's get to its unboxing. The box that Everycom sent me is tremendous, and now I see why. The projector box itself is quite large and suitcase-like with all the information you need to know about this tremendous projector. Inside there is a small accessory box that includes an HDMI cable, a power cable for home AC, a slim, simple and practical infrared remote control. In addition, I ordered it with a 100-inch gray fabric to make better use of it, and this fabric arrives with its Velcro patches to attach it to the wall. Finally, we have the projector that is difficult to remove with one hand, because it is very large and heavy, and it also comes protected with foam blocks. How do you see it? It's a true monster, but solidly built and in excellent 2K resolution, which is superior to full HD. The lens comes protected with its cover and is a 5 cm glass lens and not plastic. This is the infrared receiver, and this is the focus knob, which allows you to adjust the sharpness of the projector. On one side is the hot air outlet and on the other side is the fresh air inlet, and here it has a compartment where it has a filter, which as you can see is an activated carbon filter. Very important in projectors that do not have sealed optics, like this, to prevent the entry of dust. On the top there are 6 physical buttons to control the projector, and on the back there is the AC electrical connection, the speaker output, 2 USB inputs, 2.0 and 3.0, an HDMI input, another infrared receiver for the remote control, and an analog audio output. At the bottom it only has rubber feet, because due to the size it does not have a tripod nut. It is quite large, but it is not bad. The operation will tell what its performance is. The main plus of this Everycom E700 projector is its native 2K resolution, and also that it integrates 3 GB of RAM inside, which is not very common in most projectors. In my opinion, this projector is a bit large, although that will also help the interior to be better ventilated. In addition, it has LCD technology and is an interesting option for a home theater. The Everycom E700 costs about $270 on ALIEXPRESS, and you can choose it with a ceiling mount or with a 100-inch gray fabric. If you decide to buy it, be careful when choosing, because there are 2 physically identical models, the E700 1080 and the E700 2K, both with completely different characteristics. Regarding its specifications, what stands out the most is its 2K resolution, which is one of the few that integrates 3 GB of RAM, is dual-band, and also incorporates all the necessary corrections to project it on any surface. Although it is very large and has many screws, it is easy to disassemble. To do this, you have to remove the front cover, being very careful not to break the tabs, and now you just have to lift and disconnect this connector and we will have the cover off. And this is what this Everycom E700 2K looks like inside, and I note that it is not sealed optics. As you see, up here is your control card, and it has its 3 main chips together. The Rockchip RK3566 processor, the storage chip and the RAM chip. These 3 chips do almost all the work, and through this flag they send the processed video to the 2K LCD screen. This is the other card that it integrates, the power card, which is a switching power supply, and in this case it comes integrated so as not to have to carry an adapter. This projector does not have sealed optics, so I can completely disassemble it, and that makes it easier to repair. This is the secondary fan in charge of cooling the LCD screen. This is the image amplifier and diffuser usually built in acrylic, and this is the star in this E700 projector, the finely constructed 2K resolution LCD screen. It is a 2K LCD panel with a 75% NTSC color space, which covers and defines a good range of colors. Like everything about this projector, it is very large at 5.5 by 3 inches and would not fit in a smaller projector. This is the main fan and in charge of strong work. Ventilate the powerful power LED. The reflector hood already comes with its built-in and sealed light diffuser, which also prevents dust and contaminants from entering the LED, and also integrates a light polarizing filter that prevents burning the images. As I always say, the strong muscle of a projector is its power LED, and this component defines many things, from its power in ANSI lumens, to the average use time, and this one that integrates has a tremendous aluminum heatsink with cooling fins and 4 copper heat pipes. It is also protected by a thermal fuse, so it is very difficult for these power LEDs to burn out due to excess heat. The new LEDs of this generation are more powerful and much safer, because they have a good cooling and safety system. I have already tried LEDs like this in vacuum with my power supply and they are crazy illuminating, and this one I tried was even much smaller. Here is one of the main reasons why projectors become more popular and accessible every day. Power LEDs, since they have more lumens of light, are safer and are increasingly cheaper. Now I understand why the size of this projector, of course, if it must accommodate components as large as this focusing lens and all the others that you have already seen. Interesting device, right? Sometimes they put me in the comments, Javi, aren't you afraid of messing something up? It is good that you are an electronic engineer, but you could also make a mistake, but you know that man does not live by fear, and if he let me be dominated by that, he would never have known such fascinating things in electronics. But just in case, before closing it, I'm going to connect it for a moment to verify that everything is fine and I haven't messed up anything. Now, with complete confidence, I'm going to close it and prepare it to test it as it should be, and I'm sure you're eager to see that too. Because it can't be put on a tripod, I'm going to use this little table and project it at 100 inches on my white screen, like you're seeing here. This is the main interface of the Everycom E700. At the top it has some streaming platforms and below some of its recommendations. In addition to the Play Store, it has an App Store where I imagine it has specific applications for this projector. All the installed applications are grouped here, and since it is Android, APKs can also be installed because, as you see, I already installed 2 here, Majus TV and Happy Chick. I am pleasantly surprised with the speed and fluidity of the interface. You can see that those 3 GB of RAM help you a lot. The projector's quick settings can be accessed from this icon, but the full configuration options are up here. As you can see, the E700 can connect to a 5 GHz network, has Bluetooth 4.5 and multiple correction options that I will review in a moment. In preferences we can see the card model, the 3 GB of RAM and the Android version that it integrates, which is 11, and in storage we see that it has 16 GB, of which there are about 10 GB still available. In screen options, we find an option to make the screen wider, and this very useful option is used to calibrate the colors to the taste of each user or the content you are viewing, which helps a lot in projection. But the most important options are the correction options, and this E700 has them all. You can invert the projection to put it on the ceiling. You can correct the 4 corners to adapt it to any surface. You can adjust the vertical location to put it higher or below, and you can also adjust the digital zoom. And although all the corrections are manual, in this aspect, it is a very complete projector. After having calibrated it to my liking, we can now see how the images look on this projector. As you can see, the colors are quite good and they are not very saturated or lack a tint. In addition, this is completely modifiable in the settings and is to the taste of each user. These are images at 100 inches, and I highlight the fluidity of movement, and the brightness is also quite acceptable, even for a half-lit room. Regarding the resolution, just stand close to the image and here you can see that there is a significant increase in pixel density compared to a full HD projector. But you better stay until the end, because later I will not only check its resolution, but I will compare its images with those of a full HD projector, so you can see the real difference. To my clinical eye it looks very good, But with the applications installed on this projector, you will not get the most out of it, since it does not have certified Android. The streaming applications will be limited to SD or at most HD. That's why I will install my Fire Stick 4K Max, and although the projector is not native 4K, at least being 2K, it is much closer to that resolution. From here I can open my Netflix 4K profile that I bought on Gams Go and now see the best quality that this projector offers. And here I am trying to make the resolution of this projector as compatible as possible with the best image quality of Netflix, to force it to show me its best images. Taking advantage of the fact that my Fire Stick is connected, I will open the app screen test to check some parameters, such as the ability to project thin lines with good details and check the contrast. With this other image you can review the resolution of the projection thanks to these patterns. The image of the colors and tint also offers us a good idea of its performance, and without being an expensive and high-end projector, it does not disappoint enough to be used in an average home. The color palette shows us vivid colors, but there is also some shadowing on the sides, which is typical of most mid-range LCD projectors and which does not happen much with DLP projectors. I'll bring the projector closer to measure the light intensity with my lux meter, and wow, it does meet my expectations because it exceeds 1000 lux, and as far as I remember, only the Micool KP2 had achieved that. So it seems to be a projector between 500 and 600 ANSI lumens. To answer this question, I will take it to the maximum projection that my screen offers, about 150 inches, and finally adjust it to fit exactly on it. On a sheet of paper, I will measure and mark exactly 5 centimeters and place the sheet somewhere on the projection that can serve as a reference. Such as the upper part where the number 1 begins, and I will group the pixels in groups of 3, since it is a little more difficult to count them all one by one. Now, I see that I have 13 groups of 3 pixels in this graph, that is, approximately 39 pixels fit into 5 centimeters. And since I know how long the visible part of my screen is both horizontally and vertically, well, with a simple rule of 3 I can calculate that this E700 projector has 2535 by 1404 pixels, and that, due to the margin of error at the time of measurement, they correspond to 2560 x 1440. I mean, it's a true expanded 2K. And that's why these high-resolution images look so great, and even having it projected on my entire screen, the resolution is still good, although I also admit that in the center the focus is better than in the corners, where it is lost a little, but that is a detail that you will have to forgive, if you want to obtain images with this resolution. It is not the best projector out there, but it does meet what is necessary for a home theater. The main advantages are that it has a good improvement in resolution and the brightness is quite good, and as disadvantages, its size, because it is large and heavy, and also, the focus is not very homogeneous throughout the screen, being a little blurrier at the edges. I connected my PlayStation 5 to test its performance and play a little to see what the experience is like, and it was quite good, fluid and enjoyable. Of course it will also depend a lot on your demands and how you would like to see the projections, but in general terms and even in dark scenes, a PS5 is a good complement for this projector. I am going to remove this 2K projector for a moment, to install a Lenovo Full HD projector that I have saved, and I will still adjust it exactly to the 150 inches of my screen. As you can see, it also looks pretty good from a distance, but the details and differences must be observed very closely. I took some very close photographs in both 2K and Full HD so you can make your own comparison, and as you see, the 2K images have a higher pixel density and these pixels are smaller. This makes the images have better sharpness and softness at the edges. At 3 feet away, the E700's internal fans reach 43 decibels, so I wouldn't say it's very quiet. And if I measure them very closely, the noise can reach 50 decibels, although the noise is hidden with the 76 decibels it reaches at maximum volume. Since the sound is not very good because it only has one internal speaker, It does allow the connection of Bluetooth devices, like this TronSmart T7 speaker, and with this the sound will improve a lot. Using the Air Screen application, screen mirroring also works on this projector as you are seeing, and the experience is not bad. At times it has some jumps, but the transmission delay is very small and is almost synchronized. I also tried projecting some small texts, and I can read them comfortably from about 17 feet. They have good definition and there will be no problem reading them from a small room. Projecting at half light, you will also be able to see more or less as you see here, since I am at 40% of my lights, and as you can see, it doesn't look that bad, right? Even depending on the video, you will be able to see quite a bit of brightness. Finally, I measured the temperature and it reached about 134 degrees Fahrenheit, so you should keep it in ventilated places. While on the filter side it remains cold at 82 degrees Fahrenheit, since right here the LCD screen must be kept cool and ventilated. The E700 is just another projector option that the market presents to us. I am not saying that it is the definitive one, but for about $270 I have not found another projector that offers 2K resolution, and this one really is, as I already demonstrated. It also has its weak points or aspects that can be improved, but it is also one of the few that has 3 GB of RAM. That is why when choosing a projector, we must weigh its advantages and disadvantages, and always try to adapt to the best price we can pay. Personally, I liked it, good brightness and good resolution, but it is still not my ideal projector, because my level of demand is a little higher. But I am sure that this quality of projection will be enough for thousands. Thank you for making it to the end. What did you think of this video? If you liked it, like, subscribe and comment, because that motivates me to continue analyzing new models and more technology. Help me, and let's democratize technology. Until the next video.